just gonna wait a little bit until some people come in. All right, so I'm just gonna go into this today. So we are going to talk about cord cutting and clearing emotional triggers. I was watching a panel of women, melanated women, the other day, and I was just looking at them, and one person said something, and they went from 0 to 60 in like 2 seconds, right? And I'm just looking, and they're like, I'm triggered, I'm triggered. And I know how challenging it is to clear triggers without knowing how to do it energetically. So I wanted to show this for you guys so you can start trying this on your own. Or if you want more help, you can work with a practitioner. But it is so much easier to clear the cords and clear cord cutting, clear emotional triggers energetically than like the old fashioned way. So for some triggers, you have to like write it out and then release and da 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 da. And some people just don't have time for that. So I'm just going to show you some quick ways. And I go over this in these workshops that I'll teach periodically on how to do it. So the first part, cord cutting, especially when you're dating. So a lot of I've been talking about is like divine feminine energy, dating, how it helps your dating, how it really makes you truly valuable on the marketplace, because most men just don't get that from a lot of women because it's been trained out of our society. With divine feminine energy, it's emotional intelligence, it's spiritual intelligence, it's emotional maturity. It's not reacting, it's responding. So you're sitting up from this place, seeing people get triggered, and you're like, oh my God, like, what is valuable is when something happens to you as a woman or man and you don't get triggered and you don't react emotionally. Even though it invokes a emotion, you have the emotional intelligence and emotional guidance system and you're tuned into it with practice. That, yeah, it might, maybe someone says something disrespectful or hurtful or mean or nasty, something more negative. And yes, you have an initial emotion and reaction, but it's getting to the point where you're not ruled or act out in that emotion. You take some time to figure out what your next steps are, and you realize you have the time to take that time. Everything doesn't have to be immediate. All results don't have to happen. Well, they said this, I said that, boom. It's okay for it to happen maybe a few days later. So when it comes to cord cutting, I find that a lot of women get really invested in men that they have no business being invested in. But what they don't understand is that they have cords connected after they made this connection. And with feminine energy and with emotional intelligence is also spiritual intelligence on how to cut those cords. So you're not thinking about this guy that you should be thinking about all the time. But as long as there's energetic cords, you're going to. So if you don't know how to clear that, you're just wondering why you're thinking about these people. And if you're dating multiple people and one doesn't call you back, like in general, that's not a big deal. But when you're emotionally connected to them with a cord and you don't know it and you're not taking care of your energy, your feminine energy hygiene, well, that's the problem. Because at the end of the day, if you cleared that, you would not care if you called or not because you're not that invested. But if you don't clear that, you don't learn your feminine hygiene, you don't know how to cut those cords, you're pressed over people who've had 2 conversations with you, and that shouldn't be the case. No one owes anyone anything, right? And so I find I maneuver differently. And, I get lots of dates, I go out a lot, okay? So I don't even think, I don't. I do. I actually turn out way more than I pick up. And it's this thing where I do start to get invested. I know how to cut those cords. And so I went into this on like why I don't care, like breadcrumbers, and why I don't do the no contact that some people do, because my heart's not open or connected or feeling way more pain than it should be if you don't call me back. So I'm going to quickly go over this. Of course, if you're more clairvoyant and have more spiritual gifts than others, you'll see it. I teach workshops on getting people to be able to see their clairvoyant or even energetic bodies, because there's different ways for you to read information. So I'm just going to quickly go over what you can do for that and to clear emotional triggers. Just understand if you can't get it, you can always work with someone like myself or anyone else to clear these things. And I find it's the fastest way to get past trauma, past pain, clear it from your body energetically. And so when someone does something, you're not triggering it because it's already been neutralized and grounded. Like it's that energy of what is triggering, that emotion that's evoked to your spirit. It's not there anymore. So no more triggering. The cord cutting. Yeah, okay, you called, you didn't call me in 3 weeks. I don't care because I don't have any emotional connection to you like I did. And so when I cord cut, I tell you, I do it pretty much after. There's certain people that every time I talk to them, a connection forms, and then I constantly start thinking about them. And so with those people, so I have two right now where I have that, and others I don't. I have to cut the cords. Otherwise, I'm like, why didn't they call me back? Da, 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 da. And I'm so invested in this person, but I have no reason to, no right to, right? So your feminine energy hygiene, right? So let me talk about cord cutting. So what you're gonna do, like I said, this is just quick because I do workshops on this, right? So, you know, in a workshop, I'll work with you individually until you get it. But for those who would like to try it on their own because they're in a desperate situation and they really need to cut some cords now so they can stop thinking about people they shouldn't have any ties to, or someone that they've disregarded, or someone they've cut ties to and they need to cut those cords, I'm going to give this to you. And also remember, oh, I'll tell you that later. So what you can do is just take a deep breath and close your eyes and try to center yourself. It only takes me a minute or two. Take how long it takes for you to like just get clear. Not even a minute. Honestly, it takes me like 2 seconds. Whatever. I just need to take a deep breath and I can go into that place where I'm just clear, where I'm not like thinking about work, school, this person did that, whatever. Just set the intention to your higher self. I want to cut all cords, or all cords to X person. I want to cut all cords to, you know, Johnny. Okay? So close your eyes, and then you're going to picture a blank black screen, or if you like, a white screen. Or for some reason, it's take a deep breath, and go ahead and ask your higher self, show me any cords that are connected to me. And I'm going to show you how to tell you to do this the right way so you don't cause negativity to you as a person. And picture yourself as you are, either sitting down, and you can picture your energy body. So I generally picture my body sitting on the ground, like you see my head, but then the rest of my body is like smoke. That's just how I like seeing it because it just resonates with me for what my energy body looks like. Do whatever you want. You can have your physical body or energy body. So picture that in your mind's eye. I usually do black, but sometimes it turns white. I just let that happen. But do whatever you want. But just have a blank screen and picture yourself there. And then ask your higher self, show me all the cords attached to X. Now, at my level, when I do these videos with you guys, some of you, women and men, will naturally put a cord in me. It is very energetic. You're not doing it on purpose, right? But if there's a certain light and it resonates with you, you just naturally attach, okay? That's why people, if you're really famous and you're a singer, you really need to have someone, like, you really need to know how to cleanse your hygiene, because otherwise everyone's draining you and you don't know why you feel this way, okay? So picture your energy body and then go, you know, ask your higher self, your spirit, or God if you want. You know, I know some of you guys are more religious, but you can ask God too, because it is all energy, to show you any cords. You'll see them. Some will be very faint, wispy soft. Some will be very strong. You'll see them at different parts of your body. One guy that I have to cut the cord with all the time, that's the priest I'm dating. I always gotta cut the cords. We have just a really, really strong connection. And so I gotta cut it so I'm not like worried about what he does. And I'm just like, whatever. He like hooks into like, he has very strong energy. He just hooks in. So mine looks like hooks sometimes for him. They're like hooked. I can see the hook. I literally gotta take it out. But for most of you guys, it's gonna be just small little cords. It'll be some look like a little wispy thin, some a little stronger. Now, this is the way to do it to not cause any negative harm to anyone, yourself or others. I picture, so you can do whatever you want. I picture pink scissors with cold love, cut the cords, and the cords just dissolve. But what happens is there is a hole that is left. Whenever I do work, I always have to fill whatever void that I created, or else anything can get sucked in there. There's more negativity. A discarnate being, a random soul, whatever, like something can fill in. And I picture the pink light, and I set the intention. Fill any holes left from this cut cord with like loving energy, right? And for me and for him. And I send that, and I even picture like pink energy going to them, to me. And go one by one to all the cords you see. Now, of course, I'm an advanced practitioner, so it's going to be easier for me. But some of you will be able to see this. Some of you will not. But for those who would like to try, you definitely can. Now, the benefits of this, especially when you come to dating, is that you're no longer invested. If someone calls you or don't call you, you're like, I don't care. Guess what? Guess like that really makes them like you more when you're like, they can call and they don't feel any pressure after one conversation, two conversations, three conversations. No pressure whatsoever from you because you don't. Because you're focused on you and what you're doing, you're dating other guys. Literally, you could care less. Whereas if you left the points in because you don't know about feminine energy, you haven't done the work, you care, and you might have only had two conversations. And that's not fair. But, oh, I guess you guys can still see me. But that's what happens. The other thing that happened is men are very energetic and they tap into you. So they're attaching to you all the time. It's what they're made to do. They feed off of feminine energy. So that's why sometimes on social media, there's guys who are like trolls in all women's spaces and they're saying hateful things. The thing is, he needs feminine energy. So even if it's negative feminine energy, he still feeds off of that. So you might see me leave a comment they're really like just rude or just not intellectual or ignorant. Like, oh no, you're not feeding off of me. Bye. Cut. Blocked. You're not feeding off of me. All these other girls who don't know better, oh, feed off their source. And that's why my energy feels one way, and everyone else who doesn't take care of their energy feels another, right? And guys know the difference between well-cared for, well-watered, energetic body that they're feeding from versus one that's overworked, overtaxed, doesn't take care of themselves, their energetic body or their energy. They know the difference, right? And let's just gonna leave it at that. So it's really good for you to have this, what I call it, feminine energy hygiene, because in order to be in that feminine energy, which is just being, you have to maintain what you're being. You have to maintain that energy source. And so they're always plugging in. And so, and the next video I'm going to do is that, like, women really need to learn that not everyone deserves a response from you. And if women were more discerning about closing themselves off to people, this world would be a much better place. Guys would have to act so much better. I'll talk about that in the next one. So that is a way to, on your own, start to clairvoyantly tap into your psychic gifts and ability. See what you can see. Now, I'll tell you, generally, if it's your first time and you're new and you're not as open to this, you're going to see what you can see, but there might be more you cannot see, right? Because you just have, everything's an ability you develop over time, right? I practice this daily, so for years, 5-6 years. So just where I'm at is where I'm at, right? And I also know how to feel energy. And if you're not clairvoyant, I'll also do this. Ask your higher self to show you, to tell you, because some of you guys can hear your spirit. And if you can't do that, ask to feel the energies of any chords. Because some of you will be able to feel, oh, I feel a pulse right here. Okay, let me cut that. Where's that from? And you just get an intuitive knowing, oh, that's from X. You can cut it that way as well. Okay? You don't have to be clairvoyant. When I work with my clients, sometimes I clairvoyantly see things in my mind's eye that are coming to me. Other times, energetically, I'm like, oh no, there's tons of love, so I'll feel the love coming towards me, which is really nice, because then I can experience all this love as an explanation. Or sometimes it's like, I'll hear like the spoken words, right? So I'm someone who develops all of my spiritual gifts, and I'm open to all spiritual gifts, but some of you guys will have one more developed than others. Some of you have none developed, right? So that is a cord cutting thing, clairvoyantly. Picture yourself, picture the cords, cut them, but be thoughtful and mindful that you want to fill it back up. And if your intention is like, I hate this effort, and I hope it does get filled up with something negative, well, just understand that energy might come back to you, okay? But like I said, if you cut the cords, they're not a big deal anymore. You're not connected. You don't have that emotional tie or that pulling on your heartstrings that comes when you do it. So I also wanted to go into emotional triggers. So I was watching a panel of ladies, and they just got so triggered by one guy. Now, he was being rude. Now, the way I am at my level of like just responding, emotional intelligence, feminine energy, my big thing is boundaries with feminine energies for me. Do you deserve me even talking back to you? Do you even get the pleasure of me interacting with you? And I'm dead serious about it, because you're not all worthy. Especially if you come incorrect. So this guy said something rude, whereas I would have just been like, baby mama. I wouldn't have said anything. I would have just been like, you're dead to me. I don't talk to people like you. You're done. Bye. And then if you would have said anything else, it would have been like, you're not getting anything. You're not deserving, because anyone who steps to me with that much anger or derision or disrespect, personally, you're not going to get anything from me. You're not going to get an energetic. You're not going to get a yes. You're not going to get a no. I'm not talking to you. I only have so much energy. You think someone who disrespects me is going to get it? No. I've seen a lot of women who don't have that emotional maturity. So they think just because someone talks to them, they owe them a response back. And women really need to get to the point where they're a little bit more discerning about who deserves it, especially if they come at you with derision and disrespect. And they were all triggered. There was like 5 women, all triggered. And I honestly didn't like seeing it. I was like, just really just so you should have already known that you should have shut it down. It just looked bad. Like y'all have the emotional intelligence of a kid. Like, you need to get to grown woman status. So I help people, and I've removed my own triggers and others. So there are ways to remove these triggers. I'm going to show you a little bit of ways. So still clairvoyantly, you can also see it. You can also sit down in a chair after you meditate. If there's a particular trigger that you were triggered, like, I'm feeling this energy when X said this, it felt so bad, I felt so anxious, and da-da-da-da-da. Show me that energy. You can also ask your higher self to go, where did this come from, if you don't know, and see what you pick up. Because you can intuitively just get like, wait, college? Okay, whatever. Because I get random, I declare a trigger from 2nd grade, okay? Now, so triggers exist. Now, I've done so much work that when a trigger comes up, it's literally 2nd grade, because I've done all the college, I've done the marriage, I've done this. Now I've done, right? So we got to go back to kindergarten for a long lost trigger, but some of you guys, it's right on the surface. And I generally ask to see it as a color, but you can do whatever you want. Ask to be shown as the color pink. And you're just going to get a quick, like, impression of what it is. It's just going to stay there. Don't second guess yourself. You asked and you received, okay? You need to start trusting that. When you see it, what I tend to do is so I work with energy and I can build energy. So you're going to try, for you, I would say, so for me, I would go, okay, I see this energy, say it's pink or blue or purple or brown, whatever you say. I will transmute that energy to divine love and light. So I'll just set the intention and see it in my mind, that energy turning to this transparent color, because that's just what I like, transparent color. That's like love. It's like transparent and rainbow. That's divine love for me. And then I'll put a grounding cord and all of that divine love will ground in. And I just set an intention for Gaia to use this love energy as she likes for whatever purpose. And then I will bring in divine light. Now you can bring in divine light for your highest health and wealth. So just think that divine light for your highest health and wealth to go to that void that was just created and fill it with whatever you need. If you need confidence, determination, focus, whatever, set the intention. The energetic field in your mental arena will create that. And then have it fill you. Feel the energy. And some of you guys can't feel it, especially if you're new, but if you're an advanced practitioner, you'll feel it. You'll actually feel it filling you up. And that's it. And I know it sounds simple, but the reason I'm showing you guys this is because when I do energy work like this, it's the fastest, easiest way to clear versus journaling, talking to, you can go to your therapist and talk for 7 sessions. To do it, you can do like this. If you know everything translates to an energy and an energy body within your body and how to pull that up quickly, transmute it, and leave it. And I remember after one trigger went, there was something that would have triggered me again. Maybe it was about self-worth or self-doubt, or someone thought I was like not smart or something. And it happened and I felt nothing because the energy that was attached to that emotional reaction, it was gone. I was like, this is so easy. So now for all my clients, I do a lot of emotional triggering and shifting work just because it's like the fastest, easiest results. You can do this on your own, but of course, if you ever want to work with someone, you can like me. So I'll end this particular live on that. I hope it was helpful. I hope you understood the explanations. I would love for everyone to be to the point where they've released so much of their baggage and trauma and junk that the only trauma that gets released, and this actually happened 2 weeks ago in an eclipse, because that's what the portal was. It was just for bringing stuff up. The only reason it happened is because it was like eclipse. Like, right? And someone had said something to me at the Bitcoin conference where it sort of like, even though I didn't feel bad about it and it didn't it like just came to the surface. But I want everyone to get to the point where you got to go all the way back to first grade because you cleared so much of your energy body. So I'm going to say it: feminine energy hygiene. Okay, feminine energy hygiene. So when someone does anything with me, be it physical, sexually, mentally, energetically, the energy they're receiving from me as someone who is aware and conscious of my feminine energy and wields it and knows the power of it is different than someone who doesn't know any of that, doesn't have hygiene, has 10, 12 cords connected to them, is emotionally distraught, can be yanked like that from 0 to 60 without taking any time because they are so drained and they are so chaotic. There's a difference between that energy and a grounded energy of someone who knows feminine energy hygiene. So I'll just leave it at that. So I'll also be posting, I just created a new journal and workbook that you guys might like. It goes into dating and all the rituals I do around dating and manifesting and writing love lists and like lists and marriage lists and husband lists. But it goes into manifesting. It also goes into rituals to embody these energies, as well as feminine energy hygiene that you can do while dating to increase the juiciness of your energy that they're experiencing. So I'll post a link below when I get back home to my computer. So please check it out. I would absolutely love your support on that, if you'd like. And I think that's it. Oh, I do have a new book out. 2 books that I published. It was Crypto Alchemy, which is manifest and invest in cryptocurrency, where I go over how to make money, selecting an industry, selecting a coin, how you want to do it, what the cycles are. And then my second book, which cryptocurrency would you like to buy? So if you want to purchase that, I'll also put a link to that. And they're my new books, so I'm just promoting them on all my channels. And yeah, there's really, really good. No one talks about what I talk about. If you know me from real estate investing, I just have this way of looking at things that are just different. No one talks about, but are always effective, right? So I'm going to let you guys know about that, and I'll post the links. So any questions or comments before I head on out? And like I said, if you can't get it, try your best. Don't get upset, right? Just get in touch with someone who's a practitioner or a healer like myself or anyone else to do it. If you can't do it, I recommend at least twice a year getting with someone and just cleaning it up. If you don't know how to do your own feminine energy maintenance, okay? Highly recommend. People who do their maintenance, we're different. Our energies is ours. No one can take it without our say-so. We're very discerning with it. Because of that, there's just a lot of stored up power. A lot of power. It's like as close to the source as people can get. And I'd love it for a place for everyone to get that place. So, they don't get triggered because that's all been released. And not only that, they're so aware of how beautiful their energy is that they've taken the time to groom and take care of, that they're not going to allow just anyone to be in their presence. So that's my goal. Now, can it happen? I think it can. Melanated women, I think it can. So call me crazy, but I think you all can get to that point because it's important. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. Bye.